Okay people, this is himself and welcome to part 2 of punishing everyone's rage art with King. In part 1 I looked at the more generic rage arts, so if you haven't seen that, there's a card in the top right corner and a link in the description. In this video I'm going to show you how to deal with the more obscure ones. This includes Akuma's Raging Demon, which King can punish using some tools which are unique to him. But before we get into that, J King mentioned something important on my previous video. He said that on a shallow hit, Jack's Rage Art cannot be punished with an Atlas Hammer, and that is true because of the pushback. So I decided to find the best option King has in terms of consistency and damage. Initially I tried from crouching down forward plus 2, but because this move has decent range and would give a launch, however it is just too short. I also tried FF21, which is 31 to 32 frames, so should punish, but it was also too short. So the best I could find was F plus 2 plus 3, the shoulder. This gives 27 damage, which may not be enough to kill, but should work consistently. With that out of the way, let's look at punishing the more obscure rage arts. Elisa's rage art is special because instead of coming out in 20 frames like a generic one, it comes out in 13. This means that she can use it as a punisher to deal heavy damage. On top of that, the move is +1 on block, the only rage art that is plus on block. I've tested this by having her do F plus 1, which is 12 frames after the rage art, and as you can see, this beats out King's back plus 1, which is also 12 frames. To balance that out, the move is high, which means that you can duck under it and punish, but you have to be a little patient because it remains active for a few frames, and if you move too soon, you can easily get caught. Jin's rage art is similar, it's 13 frames, high and safe on block at -9. So again, you need to duck and punish. Steve falls into the same category, 13 frames, high and safe on block at -3. So as with the other two, duck and punish. However, the speed of the move is probably more important to Steve than Elisa and Jin. This is because Steve doesn't get a launch on regular hit until 17 frames, so this is a serious boost for him. Hwoarang's Rage Art is unique because it's the only one in the game that is mid and safe at -7. This may seem overpowered, but he can only do it out of his stance, so he's way more restricted than anybody else. Lucky Chloe's Rage Art is also unique because it's the only one that is low. Frame data says that it high crushes from the 8th frame, however I could only get it to work from the 9th. On top of that, the move has a range of damages, 50, 60 and 65. I'm not sure when she gets these different damages, so if someone knows, please say so in the comments. With it being a low, the way to punish it is to crouch and respond with while standing 1+2. But you have to wait a moment to get the full height of the launch. If you go too soon, the launch won't be as high and you'll have to juggle with DF4-3 rather than the chest bump. And finally we have Akuma. Akuma's Raging Demon is unique because it's an unblockable mid. The move also comes out in 16 frames, crushes from the first and has good range. I mean, look how far he comes across the screen when he does it. It's also guaranteed after certain moves, so in those cases, there's nothing you can really do about it. However, when it comes out of the blue, there are certain things that you can. The general consensus is to jump backwards and use D+3, which gives a good 25 damage. When you're at max range, King can do a knuckle bomb or sidestep into while standing 1+2 or Atlas Hammer. He won't get hit by the Rager and he'll punish Akuma for a full launch. However, at close range, King cannot evade quick enough, so it's not entirely reliable. But there is another tool that works at all ranges, and that is Backspin 1. You have to enter the command as soon as the camera zooms back out to a normal view. But if you do it right, Akuma will just miss you, and you'll punish him for a full launch. I think this is because at the point that Akuma activates his Rage Art, he takes a snapshot of where the opponent is, and then he uses that to target his flying knee. But Backspin changes your position enough that you're out of the target zone, so he stops right in front of you. Just out of curiosity, I decided to see what happens when King is back turned, and as with forward facing, Akuma stops just behind King. While the power clothesline doesn't punish, back +3 into stunner does, which I think would be enough to kill. However, you're probably never going to get this situation in a real match, so there really is no point worrying about it. It is just a bit of fun. And that brings this video to a close. I hope you guys learned something. If you enjoyed what you saw, then give me a like and subscribe for more. If you think I've missed something out or got something wrong, then say so in the comments. And I'll see you guys in the future.